Hello, welcome to Chapter 9, Segmentation, Targeting, and Positioning. First, we'll outline the different methods of segmenting a market, and then describe how firms determine whether a segment is attractive and therefore worth pursuing. Articulate the differences among targeting strategies, undifferentiated, differentiated, concentrated, or micro-marketing. Determine the value proposition, define positioning, and describe how firms do it. There's really no one best method to segment a market. Firms choose from various methods on the basis of the type of product service they offer and their goals for the segmentation strategy. For instance, if the firm wants to identify its customers easily, demographic or geographic segmentation likely will work. But if it is trying to dig deeper into why customers might buy its offering, then psychographic, geodemographic, benefits, or behavioral segmentation, which is occasion and loyalty, work best. Typically, a combination of several segmentation methods is most effective. And we want to describe how firms determine whether a segment is attractive and therefore worth pursuing. Marketers use several criteria to assess segments' attractiveness. First, the customer should be identifiable. Companies must know what types of people are in the market so they can direct their efforts appropriately. Second, the market must be substantial enough to be worth pursuing. If relatively few people appear in a segment, it is probably not cost-effective to direct special marketing mix efforts toward them. Third, the market must be reachable. The firm must be able to reach the segment through effective communications and distribution. Fourth, the firm must be responsive to the needs of customers in a segment. It must be able to deliver a product or service that segment will embrace. And finally, the segment must be profitable both in the near term and over the lifetime of the customer. Firms using a target strategy after they have identified its segments use different strategies. An undifferentiated strategy uses no targeting at all and works only for products or services that most consumers consider to be commodities. The difference between a differentiated and a concentrated strategy is that the differentiated approach targets multiple segments, whereas the concentrated targets only one. Larger firms with multiple product service offerings generally use a differentiated strategy. Smaller firms, or those with a limited product service offering, use a concentrated strategy. Firms that employ a micro-marketing or one-to-one marketing strategy tailor their product or service offering to each customer, that is, if it's custom made. In the past, micro-marketing was reserved primarily for tailors or other craftspeople who would make items exactly as a customer wanted. Recently, however, larger manufacturers and retailers have begun experimenting with custom-made merchandise as well. Service providers, in contrast, are largely accustomed to customizing their offering. When we determine the value proposition, a firm's value proposition communicates the customer's benefits to be received from a product or service and thereby provides reasons for the customers to want to purchase it. It consists of the attributes of a product or service that are desired by the target market but not available from competitors. Firms could attempt to offer attributes that are important to its customers whether or not they are offered by competitors. For attributes that are not important to its customers, it should either educate its customers about the importance of those attributes, de-emphasize them, or not offer those product or service attributes. Positioning is the P in the segmentation, targeting, and positioning process. It refers to how customers think about a product, service, or brand in the market relative to competitors' offerings. Firms position their products and services according to several criteria. Some focus on their offerings, the value, customers get a lot for what the product or service costs. Others determine the most important attributes for customers and position their offering on the basis of those attributes. Symbols can also be used for positioning, though few products or services are associated with symbols that are compelling enough to drive the people to buy. Finally, one of the most common positioning methods relies on the favorable comparison of the firm's offering with the products or services marketed by competitors. When developing a positioning strategy and a map, firms go through 6 steps. First, they determine customers' perception and evaluations of the product or service in relation to the competitors. Second, they identify the market's ideal points and market sizes for those products or services. Third, they identify competitors' positions. Fourth, they determine consumer preferences. Fifth, they select the position. And then finally, they monitor their positioning strategy. So it's very interesting when it comes to segmenting the market and how we find which customers are attractive to our product and not.